Hello friends, I am Professor S.V. Kadel from Fulton Education Society's College of Engineering Fulton, and today we are going to see the water softening method. Name of the water softening method is ion exchange process, which is also known as a demineralization process. In ion exchange process, ion exchange resins are used to remove the hardness producing substances. We all are know that hard water sample contains calcium magnesium dipositive soluble salts present in water, and due to the presence of these calcium magnesium dipositive soluble salts, water becomes hard. So these soluble salts which are present in water, and due to presence of which water becomes hard, has two parts: positive part and negative part. Positive part is called as a cation, negative part is called as anion. For example, if we have a compound CaCl2, in this compound calcium 2 plus is a cation and Cl minus twice Cl minus is an anion. So to remove these cations and anions, two types of ion exchange resins are required. The resin which is used to remove cation is called as a cation exchange resin. The resin which is used to remove anionic part is called as anion exchange resin. The cation exchange resin is a styrene divinyl benzene copolymer which can remove calcium and magnesium dipositive. So these resins are having carboxylic acid or sulfonic acid functional groups. Next, anion exchange resins. Anion exchange resins are phenol formaldehyde or amine formaldehyde copolymers which contain amino or basic functional groups which are responsible for exchanging hydroxyl ions or chloride ions or sulfate ions, etc. So here we have the instrumentation or the process for ion exchange method. There are two containers. First container is filled with cation exchanger resin and another second container is filled with anion exchanger resin. Hard water sample is poured into the cation exchanger resin. Then the cation exchanger resin absorbs the cationic impurities, that is calcium and magnesium, and H plus ions from cation exchange resin goes along with that water. So the water which are coming through cation exchange resin is rich with H plus ions or which is slightly acidic. Then that water enters into the anion exchange resin. There the anionic impurities are exchanged and OH minus is released into the water. So in the third step or in the degasifier, H plus and OH minus combines together and it forms a real water or aqua. After some time or after some days, the cation exchange resin and anion exchange resin get exhausted and they stop working. So for the regeneration of cation exchange resin and anion exchange resin, we have to wash cation exchange resin with acid and anion exchange resin with base. So there are two inlets for the washing. So in first container acid wash inlet is there and in second container alkali wash inlet is there. After the washing with acid and alkali, the cation exchange resin and anion exchange resin get regenerated. So the hard water that we have get from this method is having hardness 0 to 2 ppm. That is, we get we can remove all the hardness present by this method. So thus by passing hard water through cation, hardness is observed by the following reactions. The water coming out from the exchanger is ion free from cation and anion. Thus the water is zero hardness. That is, we get zero hardness water from this method. And we have also seen the regeneration. In the regeneration, when cation exchange resin and anion exchange resin get regenerated or get exhausted, it stops working. We give acid washing for the cation exchange resin and we give alkali washing for the anion exchange resin, and the reactions for the cation exchange resin and anion exchange resins are denoted here. So this method is very good method and vastly used method for the softening of water, and this method is having some merits and demerits. So the first advantage or merit, this process can be used to soften highly acidic or alkaline water. It produces water very low hardness. That is, we can get 0 to 2 ppm hardness by using this method. So it is very good for treating water for use in high pressure boilers, because there we should use very soft water. When we use hard water in boilers, we have already seen what are the disadvantages of using hard water in the boilers. So by using this method, water can be used in the high pressure boilers. And what are the demerits of this ion exchange process? This equipment is costly and more expensive chemicals are needed. If water contains turbidity, the output of the process is reduced. The turbidity must be below 10 ppm, else it has to be removed by coagulation or filtration. So these are the some of the demerits of ion exchange process. But in fact, this is a very good process, and the water coming out from this method is called as a demineralized water, highly useful method for the softening of water. So this is the first method of softening of water, that is ion exchange method. In this method we have seen what is cation exchanger, what is anion exchanger, the process of removal of hardness, the reactions, regeneration. So all these parts are included in this lecture. So thank you for listening carefully. Thank you very much.